Hello! Happy New Year! Aloha! Behold! Hi! Hi, Alex! Hi, everyone in chat! Hi, Rushbrook! I am only mildly late this time. You know what's funny enough is I was so convinced I was going to start the stream early, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen because of various reasons. Let's just say I totally wasn't spending a million years doing my makeup and then puttering around and then realizing I didn't have my computer set up because I moved my monitor around last time. So everything was a complete freaking mess. But anyways, anyhow, we're here now. So welcome. I figured what we're going to do is I'm going to do just a little catch up, just a little like year in review. I have some stuff prepared for like a 2025 in review, but we're also going to raid into the creative block, which is in like an hour and a half on Pear's channel. So I don't know if we'll have time to really go through anything, but hey, it'll be fun to hang out anyways. It'll be fun to hang out anyways. And I have some wine prepared. This was one of my Christmas gifts. Gosh, my green screen is horrible. I need to do something about this. I'm trying this new setup, so obviously there's a green screen here, but it keeps cutting out my chair. It looks like I'm just in this like liminal space. It's a bit of a disaster, but well, anyhow, I did my best. And the stream had to start. So whatever, just ignore the blinking chair in the background, and this will be enjoyed on stream today, and I figured I can show off some of my Christmas presents and catch up with you guys and just take a gaze back at last year at 2025. So yeah, but first let me say hi to all of you guys. Let's see how you guys are doing. Geekazu is here. Hello. TC, hi. TC says nice wine. Yes, we are drinking again. Yay. I got so much alcohol before Christmas. I actually did spend Christmas with family this year, and so is one of the few times one of the only times I've spent Christmas properly, and I've gotten actual gifts, and it wasn't just like some work thing, some work party, or a friend's Christmas. So and like most of my family in Taiwan doesn't do Christmas, so I didn't grow up doing it. So this year was like a little special thing because I feel like I had a proper Christmas, and I got tons of gifts. So a lot of several new sets of pajamas and a lot of wine. So I hope y'all are looking forward to me returning to being a bit of an alky. I'm well prepared. I'm like stashed up for the next year on booze. It's pretty great. The only gift you need. Yes, Town Go Solo. That's right. Hello, Travis. Lovely sweater. Thank you. I actually got this last year, but I haven't. It's been stashed away. It's from Macy's. It's very nice, isn't it? I like this. I like this color. When I'm not wearing black, or occasionally, if I'm not wearing black, it's like I like rust or cream. Anyways, very very neutral. At least I don't wear gray all the time. I'm not that millennial. Forced my Americanism on them. Oh no. I had a real Western style, a proper Christmas imbued on me this year. So I've been working on my whole process of being properly westernized, because as you all know, I grew up, even though I'm American, I grew up in Taiwan, and my dad did a terrible job of teaching me about American culture. So I haven't seen hardly any American movies, and to this day I'm getting caught up on all the things that I missed out on growing up. But it's okay, because it's like I get to have a second childhood. Speaking of, I just watched Babe, the pig movie. It's so cute. It would never get made nowadays. The only thing I could think of the whole movie was that this would never get made today, because I mean, think about it. I mean, super sweet, positive message, just like wonderful values, a really good kids movie. That movie is what kids movies should be like. But think about the values that were spoken of during that movie. Oh, the general idea was that, okay, hierarchies exist and they're good and they're part of nature, but occasionally, if that hierarchy may be broken for the sake of merit and heart, then it is acceptable. And those who oppose that rare rule breaking of the hierarchy would also rue their decision. But hierarchies exist, and everything is by merit, and that would never get made nowadays. Rex would be incompetent. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Maybe I'm too cynical. I couldn't stop thinking about like, oh, if this was made today, first of all, it probably wouldn't happen, but it would be terrible. Anyhow, I've seen Babe now, and it was so good. It was so cute. It was so cute. Those little mice singing the little chapter titles has been playing in my head all day. I want to watch it again already. It's so good. So good. Crisis is blasphemy. What blasphemy? Is Babe not supposed to be a good movie? It was good. It was good. No, there were not. No, it's just like the idea of wholesome values. I don't know. Maybe I'm too cynical. I've been told that the Avatar movies have like family values and stuff, which is good. That's nice. But anyhow, pigs are not ugly. Pigs are cute, especially little pigs with a toupee, which is what Babe was. Rushbrook says, will we see talking mice in Fiendish now? No. Well, that's not anything I have planned, but who knows? Who knows? Just one chapter, Nina will suddenly start talking. Just for no other reason. Anyhow, should I begin? Well, let me open this little bit of wine. We don't have much time, so let's speed run things a little bit. I'm not sure what I should start with, but I figured wine is always a good choice. I've got this chalice over here, so this is what I'll be drinking wine out of. A whole chalice, because who uses normal wine glasses, right? Who does that? Not me! No, sir, not me. Oh, that's way too much, but oh well. I'll finish it anyways. Oh well. Cheers, everybody, and Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. With a wonderful screen name, says Get Drunk Wino. Thank you. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. That's a tankard. Yes, it is. Kevin Ryan said that's a tankard. It is. Oh, here's another cup. I was going to use this, but I still have coffee in it. I got this for Christmas. Isn't it cute? There's a little streak of coffee on it. Ignore that. Anyways, it's an little eye mug. Isn't it adorable? So yeah, I got this mug for Christmas. And let's see, what else did I get for Christmas? Like I said, a lot of wine, a lot of pajamas, and I got, check this out. Everyone, this is a pop quiz. I want to see how many people in chat will know what in the heck this is. Can you tell? I was informed that this is like a woman thing, but I did not know what it was. I have failed as a woman. I am now no longer a woman. I don't know what I am. If the green screen could just stop blinking out for a second, that would be really great. But yeah. Can you tell what this is? It came with, let me see. It came with a bunch of other stuff. Where's the stuff? Where's the stuff that it came with? Oh, here it is. It's even in my drawer. It came with a bunch of these blocks. No, those are not sugar blocks. They're blobs of wax. And little tea candles. So, a tiny stove. Yeah, that's what it looked like to me too. I'm like, is that like a camping stove? But how do I bring that camping? It would break. No, I'm an idiot. It's wax warmer. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes. I didn't even know that. It's like for scent waxes, which I've seen them before, just like browsing Etsy, like a bougie person. Well, I browse, but I don't hardly buy anything because I'm not that bougie. But yeah, I've seen like people, it's like those stores that sell, those crafty stores. I've seen people do it on Facebook as well. They're selling their handmade candles and handmade soaps, and they'll make wax melts. So those were wax melts. These little blocks, they're wax melts. They're like blocks of wax that smell nice. And I didn't know that was a thing. And I didn't know I would enjoy it because I'm like, who the heck needs that? I'll just spray some like scent spray Febreze thing and then my house smells fine. But then I tried it because now I got this for free. And it is quite nice. It is quite nice. You guys want to see how it works? What scents? I don't know. Let me see. It says love, coconut and vanilla. That's what the scent says. Coconut and vanilla scented wax melts. Yeah, I will let's see. I will light one. Try not to set my house on fire. But hey, since I brought it out, then I can't leave you guys hanging, can I? Am I allowed to like light a fire, like a match thing, or a probably? I don't know if I'm allowed to do this on stream, so I'll do it off camera because you never know. YouTube is weird, so I will be careful. Yeah. So you see, what you do is you light a little tea candle like that. Fire is okay, says TC. Okay. And then you put it in here in this little oven thing. It's like a mini oven. And then I already have some molten wax here, but so I probably don't need to put another block. But the idea is you put a block of the wax here, and then you put it on top of this thingy-majig. This is Irene's wax melt tutorial, and you do this, and it smells really nice. So it just seems like a lot of pain to like. I have family members who like candles and stuff like this, and I never really got it because it's just like that's a lot of work. I will light candles and then blow them out every day, but it's pleasant. It's pleasant. I understand the ritual. So, you know, yeah. Oh my gosh. Fucking green screen. Anyways, here you go. This is the completed setup, and I will put it over here. So I'm very, very glad to have that. Merry Christmas to me. That was one of my Christmas presents. Yay! Geek Hazards is below the fire. No, I just lit it. I'll let it just simmer there and smell nice for the rest of this stream. And hopefully nothing catches on fire. It should be safe, right? Do trees consuming it? Yeah. No, well, I don't have a Christmas tree at my place. Other people had Christmas trees and I visited their place. So there's no risk of anything being set on fire right now. Thankfully, because, you know, usually I wouldn't trust myself with fire. Most people know not to trust me with fire, but today I'm making an exception. Maybe I will regret it. Brick Sailor says, Happy New Year's! Happy New Year's, everybody. Oh, I missed a couple of chats. Excuse me, my apologies. Maromi, member for 47 months, says Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's, Maromi. Cheers. Cheers to you and everyone else in chat. I'm enjoying just a little wine if you're just coming in and you missed that. So I'm doing a little pre-gaming so I can be properly drunk for creative block and I won't be able to contribute, or will I be able to contribute more? Who knows? Lieutenant Hughes says, Happy New Year's, Reedy and everyone! Yay! Thank you, and Happy New Year's. Good, sir. Happy New Year's. There's a little coffee mug. I mean, it's just a giant tankard, but it's not coffee in there. That is wine. That is the wine that I got for Christmas. A giant quart of wine, yes. Any book gifts? No. I did not get any book gifts, though. There have been some books I've been eyeing, but I might be moving soon. So I have been trying to not get too much bulky stuff because every time I move, it's not even the furniture. Like now I have nice furniture, but before now I did not have any nice furniture. I just bought like IKEA stuff or secondhand stuff because I moved so much. Guys, I moved 14 times throughout the course of my entire life. It's kind of ridiculous. So I had so little stuff, but every time I moved, it would still be a pain in the ass because I would have to move my books and art supplies. So that's been the main pain every time I move. So I'm trying to not have too many books this time around, and maybe my life will be easier. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if I can manage that, even though there are tons of books that I want. But well, I'll try to not buy them all, because if I have to move again, I have to lug all of that. It was horrible. Yeah, when I moved back to Taiwan last time, I had I shipped a pallet of stuff by freight. I don't even want to think about how expensive that would be right now, but this was years ago. And so I moved back briefly, and I decided I'd ship my stuff back, and I managed to consolidate everything I owned onto one pallet, and then I shipped it all back. It was all books. It was all books and a drawing table, because I love my drawing table so much. I couldn't let go of it, so I shipped it all the way to Taiwan, and it was like a drawing table, a really good printer scanner, and a shit ton of books. That was it. But then I moved back to the States, and I'm like, I'm just gonna travel light. I'm just gonna travel light. I'll own nothing. And then I started buying books again, so now I have a shit ton of books again. Well, that's just how life goes, right? That's just how life goes. Guy in his room says I'd move in April too. I feel your pain. Man, when I was all throughout my 20s, I would move like once a year. Just like as soon as rent goes up, I just move. Or I would move for work. And because I had several jobs, I worked in like corporate art jobs, animation, and gaming. So, and I was always really open to moving for work, because I had no family attachments. I didn't have to be anywhere. I didn't own a house. So I was like, oh, I'll just move for work. I'll go where the money is. So I moved so many times. I don't have the energy for it anymore, guys. I want to settle down for a bit. I've been since I bought a house, I've been pretty put for a few years. Hopefully this next move will be the last one I have to do for a while, so I can actually just settle down and relax. That would be very, very nice. Very nice. Oh, my screen just zoomed in. Why did it do that? Stop doing that. Okay. All right. Ooh, let's see. What else did I get for Christmas? It's mostly it. I got a necklace too. You guys want to see? It's super cute. Behold. It's a little gold cross necklace. Isn't that nice? I think it's real gold too. Yeah, it's very pretty. Shiny! And then I got another necklace. It's a leaf necklace. I don't have it with me, but I got two little jewelry things. I'm very spoiled this year. But it's probably the last Christmas I would be in this area for a while. So I think it's okay to be spoiled, right? I also spoiled everyone else. I did drawings for everybody, and it was very, very nice. So I think hopefully they were happy. It was a wonderful Christmas. All right, let's see. So should we before we have to scramble and jump over to creative block. I have a few things pulled up, but I had a few photos just from over last year. I want to do a year in review, just go through 2025, because I was looking at all the work I did in 2025, and I realized I did so much cover work, and I actually got a lot done. I've been feeling kind of miserable and sorry for myself and feeling like I haven't been productive, but I got so much done. I've been bummed out because I didn't get a lot of pages done towards the second half of the year, because I started campaigning for Fiendish 3, and then I was doing commissions and doing conventions, so I didn't get that many pages done. And right now I'm crunching to get pages done, because I'm like, oh my god, I have to get the book finished in time. Holy shit, what do I do? But actually, I did get a lot of other stuff done last year, and the first half of the year before I launched the campaign, I got tons of pages done. So I did actually get quite a few things finished, but yeah, so I wasn't unproductive, and there was so much traveling, guys. There's so much traveling. You guys know that I did Osaka Comic Con, so there was that. And then went back to Taiwan for a while, and then also I did Heroes Con, and I did what was a con in Miami? I did a con in Miami. Oh shit. I'm never doing this again. Even like 3 conventions a year is way too much for me. And then I did a mini con in Augusta. And then I've been traveling since Thanksgiving as well. So I am so traveled out. I want to just chill for a bit and not have to run around with my head cut off. I'm hoping that this year I can just do Heroes Con and that's it. I'm hoping to just do Heroes and then be at peace. Be at peace for a while. That's a lot of driving and flying. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Right before Thanksgiving, I drove from Atlanta up to Chicago and then to up to it was Wisconsin, right? Was it Wisconsin? As if anyone else would know. Up to Jake's printer because he was also there and we decided I needed to drop off books to RJ and Jake needed to pick up books from his printer. So what we did was drove all the way to Chicago and then to the printer and then down to RJ's and he's in St. Louis and then back to Atlanta. So that was a 27-hour drive, I think. Listen, guys, I'm not the best driver in the world, but at least I can manage that. At least I can manage that. I also drove down to Florida for the Miami Con, and I drove to Heroes and back. It's been a lot of driving. I've been driving a lot. I've been doing a ton of super long road trips, so I might not be the best driver in the world. True to stereotypes. Can't talk today. True to stereotypes. But at least I can manage that. Everybody else on the road is just dodging me. That's how it works out. Let me see if I can fix this freaking background. It's really annoying me. Let's see. Oh my gosh. How annoying is it? I think, oh, it didn't recognize it had a green screen. All right. My apologies, guys. I'm trying to fix this. Let me put this light over here and see if that helps. I think this will actually be better. Watch me fuck this entire thing up. I think this will... Unbelievable. The most frustrating thing ever. Well, I tried. At least it's not blinking out my chair anymore. Technical difficulties. There we go. I think that's a little better. Yeah. Okay. Lighting might be weird on me, but at least it's not a total disaster. Yeah! Okay, I fixed it. Go me! Woo! Well, Red, what's up? Crazy light. Well, I have like 2 lights, and I'm trying to figure out how to set them up to work best with my current setup. And one of them I had to move because my drawing table is over there. So I moved it for my drawing table. So now it's all fucked up. Anyways, enough complaining about my stupid setup. The modern day nomad. I have basically been living like a nomad all through my 20s because I moved to the States when I was 17 on my own, and I've just been moving like a total nomad, barely owning anything. And now I really want to just settle down and not have to just move all the time anymore. But yeah, it's been wild. I have moved a lot. I'm a survivalist. How surprised you haven't drawn your own background. I probably should. I could put some art as my background, but I am too lazy. Maybe I should upload some art. I thought this was from Christmas though, and this was like cute and festive, so figured I'd keep it for now. Anyways, all right. Let's you guys ready for a photo slideshow? Should I pull up some photos from over this year and see how the year went, how 2025 was? I have let's see, what should I start with? I realized I did like 10 covers, 2 of which are still under wraps and I can't show people. But I did a ton of cover work, and that's what started this whole quest. So I suppose I will pull that up and review all of that good work. Does that sound good? Let's do that. Yeah, I think I set a goal in 2025 that I wanted to focus on just doing Fiendish and just doing cover work. And that's sort of how I decided that that's like the main thing I would focus on outside of campaigns, because I don't have the time to, I'm not a fast enough artist to do both my comic and draw interiors for anyone else is the thing. So I figured, well, I can learn to do covers decently well, and then that way I can just do covers and do my comic and run the campaigns, and then hopefully I'll be able to pay the bills. So that was generally my goal for 2025, and hopefully I've managed that. Hopefully I managed that. And I didn't realize I did that many, but mostly it's Fiendish covers. I did like 5 or 5, not that many. Well, actually, yeah, including the Japanese covers for the first Japanese editions of Fiendish. I did like 10 covers, and most of them were for Fiendish, but some were for other people, and 2 are secret. And no one gets to see them yet. All right. Can pull this up finally. Wow. What even is this? Planine Good Time says hi. Hello. I hate how in StreamYards I can't see everyone's name anymore. It's all the @ handles, so I get really confused about who is who sometimes. I apologize. But I try to remember. All right. Whee! There we go. Look. There, that's the setup that I had before. So yeah, that is one of the Japanese edition covers for Fiendish. That's for Fiendish 1. Maromi says Drunk leaked it. Yes. He has mentioned it. Did he post the art yet? It's more or less done, but I don't think he posted art yet, so I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to show it because he hasn't revealed it. But he did say I was doing a cover. So yes, I'm doing a cover for Drunk 3PO for his pirate book, and it should be revealed soon. Very excited. I think it looks great. And these are all these covers are, most of them are original art too. So that was fun. This year I went back to drawing mostly on paper because I have a theory. I might be wrong, but I think that because AI is everywhere and AI art is super easy to create, obviously, no one will be that impressed by digital art in due time. So I'm hoping that the ability to actually draw on paper and physical art will be worth more as a result. Who knows? But I also think that my work looks better if I draw traditionally. I feel like there's more of a texture to it. There's more life to it. Like digital art is more convenient. Sure, drawing digitally is more convenient, but that's why I pencil in Photoshop. Then I've been inking traditionally, and I quite like that workflow. It's been great. And this is how all these covers are done. These colors are by Jake, by the way. So I color most of my Fiendish covers, but I didn't have time for these, so I just threw them at Jake. And Nick also didn't have time, so I was like, okay, well, there you go. Thanks, Jake. Color these. Here are the inks. And this is the chapter 2 cover. I'm very proud of this one. This is with the trade dressing as well. This is a composition I had for a really long time, and I finally got it done for the Japanese edition cover. I'm very, very glad. Very glad that got to happen. Traditional art is always the best. Hit the like button, boys. Yes, hit the like button. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Babe to bacon or ham? No, why would you say that? No, Babe is protected. Everybody loves Babe. Maromi says I've been acquiring pencils now more than inks because real pencil is getting rare too. If for like convention commissions and most of the how do I put it? Like the smaller pieces I do for auctions, those I just pencil if it's like 1 or 2 figures. But for covers, because I want to have more editability and I want to have more control over the pencils, the the point or the big bonus of being able to pencil digitally is, oh, if I drew this head too big, I can just select it and transform it. I don't have to redraw the whole thing. But if you're penciling traditionally, you have to redraw the whole thing. So it's like, it definitely puts your skills to test. But I'm at the point where it's like, I know I can do it. I just want to save time. So I've been doing digital pencils and traditional inks. But yeah, no, for my auction pieces, and obviously if I'm drawing something out of convention, it's all, even the pencils are traditional. Aviator says, which is more fun, throwing covers or throwing books at Jake? Both. The more returns I get, the better. So let's see, they're both fun. The entertainment value is the same, but I do get good colors back in the former. But then for the latter, I get thoroughly entertained. So yeah. TC says good time saving. Yeah, it's all about balance. It's all about balancing convenience and just doing the work, getting the work done in a high quality, timely manner. Those are the inks with some digital shading. So the black in the background, I added that in Photoshop. But yeah, those are traditional inks as well. I am not selling that one. I have some cover art for sale. I sold a few Fiendish covers, but this one sold on eBay as well. The traditional. Oh, I don't have the inks for that one, but this one is not traditional. But I might straight up redo this because I did this digitally. These are technically my pencils. Believe it or not, this isn't done yet. And then I showed it to people. Everybody's like, this is done. What, you don't have to ink this, but I want to have a traditional piece for it. So I think I'll print it out and I'll ink it properly. But these are my pencils. I swear to God, these are just roughs. And I have a problem with getting a little carried away when I'm doing my pencils. And then things end up looking like they're pretty much inked. It's a problem. I'm trying to mitigate that. I'm trying to save time and not spend a million years on everything. I've been doing pretty good. I have a couple of pages I just finished over like the last 2 days. For the last 2 pages, I've been doing about 1 page every day or two for inks. So, but then I penciled another page in like half a day. So that's a pretty good rate. If I keep doing that, then we're good. I just need to like not do anything else for the next 6 months, right? But yeah, I'll try to remember to show you guys some pages that I just finished before the end. TC says you can't fool us. No! Her pencil, she means her first inks. Listen. These were intended to be pencils, and I stand by that. There was this. That was the Fiendish 3 cover. Here are the inks for that. That was also traditional piece, same as this one. This is for Red Eyes, not the first book. I don't remember. It should be Red Eyes 2 for David Feed. This was drawn digitally because I was traveling, didn't have time. And this is my Yaira cover. I do have inks for this, and I keep forgetting that I have inks for this. This was drawn traditionally. So what I did was I inked this traditionally on a real paper, and I added the blue streaks and the spotted black on the street in Photoshop, but the rest of the inks are on actual paper. But yeah, that's the end of my cover show. So there's 2 more that I can't show. One is for Drunk 3PO, but you guys will see it soon. It's a piratey cover. It looks very nice. I hope you guys will like it. World at War says, Happy New Year. Hello. Hi. TC says, has get Red Eyes. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have to get Red Eyes. It's a good book. But yeah, that's the cover saga of 2025. But let's see, what else do I have? Yeah, TC. Let's see. Those are just inks. Listen. Michael Rushbrook is same. I need to kind of chill with the detail level. That would help a lot. That would really help a lot. Let's look at convention photos, shall we? Or should I pull up just more artwork? I don't know. I don't really know. What do you guys want to see? Should I go through more artwork or convention stuff? Because we had some good times at conventions. I'll pull up some photos of heroes, and then we'll come back. We'll come back to artwork stuff. 'Twas a good year. We might only get through heroes, but that's fine. That's fine. Heroes is such a good show. It's amazing, and if you guys have time and are in proximity, you should definitely go to Heroes. It's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Should be going this year. Haven't heard back yet, but my fingers are crossed. I hope I get to go again because Heroes is fucking great. Rushbrook says Heroes was awesome. Yeah, it's one of the few art and comics focused shows still left that's a decent size, and the people who run it are super cool. It's put on by a comic shop called Heroes Aren't Hard to Find, and they're all about the art in the comics. Like, the artist alley is the majority of the show floor. What other convention, whatever other mid-sized towards large convention, which is what Heroes is, it's a 3-day show. It's kind of a large mid-sized con, and half the show floor is an artist alley. What other con can do that? They don't have big Hollywood booths or big publisher booths. It's all artists and like long boxes. So it's so cool. It's definitely, and then they have like the art auction and everything. It's definitely a great place for artists to get together, and people are there looking for original comics and original art. So it's really nice. I absolutely love it. Yeah, I think I'll do my best to just keep doing it every year if I can manage it, you know. What? Romy says I'm already listed? Am I listed? Oh, am I listed? What? Joyful news! Wait, I have to check this. Hold on. I did not know this. I don't want to celebrate too early. So, let me bring this screen over here on my second monitor. Let me share. Oh, go away. How do I find this? Okay. That is the Fiendish website. But let's go to... I have all my promo tabs still open from last week. Heroes... What's the website? Is it HeroesCon? I'm just going to Google it. Heroes Online! Yes, heroesonline.com. We'll see. We'll see if I'm actually listed or if I'll embarrass myself live on stream. You guys ready for this? Moromi says you don't see it now? Aww. Aww. Well, it's okay. Hopefully, then there's still time for me to be delisted? No. Well, anyhow, this is the HeroesCon website. So it's Heroes Online, and they would have usually artists. I don't think they have that many people listed already. Yeah, see? There's nobody there. The website is reset for this year, so there's nobody on the list. And Glebnersen says they have to have me back. Well, I hope so. I would be very honored because Heroes is an awesome convention. Yeah, they don't have anybody listed yet, so they barely have anybody on there. Oh, Ryan Oakley will be there. Yeah, cool. Well, anyhow, check it out. TC says rip. Yeah, rip. Oh no. It's fine. Well, I'll wait for an email back. I'm nobody special. They wouldn't feature me this early. I'm just a unknown indie artist. And but I'll humbly wait for an email back, and then I'll see if I get to return to my table. Wait until I hear about this passing inks as pencils controversy. Oh no! Whatever shall I do? She's just probably rearranging. Yeah, there is one person working on the entire thing. I think it's Kayla, right? There's just one person, one lady handling all of Artist Alley and all the applications. So bless her. She does good work. She's probably very overloaded. But yeah, I believe you, Marumi. I believe you. hopefully I do get to go back this year. But yeah, last year, let me switch over to some photos from last time. Since we're rating into creative blog, I figured we can have a little retrospective of heroes from last year, shall we? Da-da-da! Here's my dumb face and my table, which is really cool. I requested to have extra space this year. I hope I get it. Maybe I won't, but I hope I get it because this is really nice. I'm at the point where I have so many books and so much stuff that it's kind of hard to get set up on just one table. So, if I could get two tables or a table and a half, that would be really, really awesome. We'll see, though. We'll see. Even if I can't, one table is fine. But yeah. Dango Sola says it's just one person. That's exhausting. It is. Alex BRB says you had a dope table. Yeah, that was really nice. I really like this setup. I have been perfecting my convention setup for the past few years because I realized probably around like right before COVID. So I did the New York Comic Con in like 2019, right before COVID hit and the world went shit. I realized around that time that, man, I really needed to work on my convention setup because at that time it was kind of a mess. I had so much stuff from previous work. I had Marvel books I'd worked on, then I had fan art prints, and then I was just beginning to work on Fiendish. So I had Regrowth, which is my sketchbook. That's my 2019 sketchbook. It's not just from 2019, but it was published in 2019 and had artwork going back several years. And it's this big 70-page thing, still available on my store, so go check it out, readingdraws.com. But I had that, and then I had a preview book for Fiendish, and I realized that my style isn't distinct enough to just stand out and unify the table. I think artists like Peach Momoko, for example, who's great. She does amazing work. She has such a distinctive, recognizable style. She can have like multiple projects on her table, probably. And a bunch of other artists are like that. And it's probably the same for like Sean Gordon Murphy. That's another thing I feel like I need to work on. A lot of artists that are well known, they have a very recognizable style. And I think I have that now with Fiendish because I've developed a certain art style for Fiendish. But back in 2019, I didn't really have that, especially because I was forcing myself to draw in other styles because I was being put on these YA books with style guides. And not that I didn't appreciate the work. That's a total different issue, but it wasn't my style. And it was very frustrating to have to force myself to draw in a way that I knew wasn't what I was searching for, wasn't the style that I wanted. So that's part of the reason I decided I just needed to, I just need to work on Fiendish. Okay. This has been my long-term dream. It'll be better for my style. But anyhow, long story short, TLDR, my table was all over the place. So I've been working on unifying my setup, and as you can see now, it's all Fiendish. This has been the goal for the last few years. The whole table is Fiendish. I have my Bedeviled sketchbook on the side, which is like my Sexy Demon Girls convention exclusive. And I have some prints, and I still have Regrowth because I think the cover for Regrowth, like the skeleton with the vines growing out of it, that's still a close enough style to Fiendish, and it has this like dark fantasy feel, which is what Fiendish is, and it fits the rest of my setup. But I got rid of almost everything else. No more cutesy stuff. I have a couple of cutesy stickers, but that's it. I want everything to feel like dark fantasy because that's my brand. And I've been exploring this whole idea of I need a freaking brand as an artist, especially if I'm going to go completely independent and not rely on a publisher. So that's really important. Like, this doesn't come naturally to everybody. I think some people, it's very natural for them to think of that, but not for me. So anyhow, that's what I've been working on, and I'm very happy with the setup I had at Heroes, and hopefully I'll get to keep redoing it, and I'll get to have the same setup this year. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Oh yeah, look, that's the creative block show. That's the hotel room the panorama for when we did the creative block show in Jake's hotel room. That was fun. Judo Joe Black says Rini has a dark side. Nice profile picture. I have a dark side. I just like dark fantasy. I always have. So it's always been a bit of a thing. Yeah, I mean, I grew up reading Detective Conan, which is murder mysteries for kids, so I don't think anyone is too surprised by that. And I like Berserk and stuff like Ghost in the Shell. I was a huge Ghost in the Shell fan for a while, but I think because I had an anime style, I got kind of stereotyped as YA, and I got put on a lot of cutesy projects. And I do like cutesy things, don't get me wrong. I still draw like my little waifu girls, right? My anime waifu girls for auctions. That stuff is fun, but it's not what I want to mainly do. It's not something I want to draw a whole comic with. Not at this point, like maybe one day, but no, I've always had a fascination with dark fantasy. So I'm not going to eliminate cutesy completely. It's like, I like 95% serious and then 5% very, very cutesy. Don't worry, TC, the waifus aren't going anywhere. They'll stick around. They'll stick around for a long time. A small tiny island of cutesy won't hurt. No, it won't. Rini had a cosplay as Naomi when I was at my neighbor. Naomi or Yomi? Naomi or Yomi? I don't know anyone called Naomi. I think you mean Yomi. No, I was not purple. I haven't cosplayed in years. I realize that it's kind of not my thing. I think the last time I cosplayed, I did Daenerys, and that was like over 10 years ago. It was I happened to had bleached my hair completely white or almost completely white. I'm never doing it again. It was so bad for my hair. And I also was the Game of Thrones show was just starting and I really liked the books. I'd read the books already. So I figured, well, let me just make the costume and I went all out. I made like a foam version of her the outfit she had in Quarth. It was the one in Quarth in when she was going into that building with all the illusions and like the purple dress and the leather top and everything. And it looked really good. But that was the last time I cosplayed. Because listen, if I'm gonna get into something, I'm going to go all in. I want to do it really well. And between comics and cosplay, I had to decide on one. And I mean, every single time there's been a divergence in what I want to spend my time on. I've chosen comics because that's always going to win out. That's what I want to do. So I mean, it was fun. It was fun to cosplay. I don't have the time to do that. I I have plenty of other time wasters in my life. Cutesy and blood. But yeah, this was our setup in the creative block show. For the creative block show, you can see the TV there. That was our computer screen. That was a fun setup. Yeah, there you go. Hey, posted that on Twitter. And this was on the show floor. Dun dun dun. Oh, has to cosplay that. It's okay. Ruby says I look really good, so I won't judge that. The costume looked really good. I'm not saying I looked really good. The costume was good. I think the general getup was decent, but compared to an actual professional cosplayer, it was probably nothing. It was decent. It wasn't complete shit, but yeah, yeah, compared to somebody who knows what they're doing. But I'm good. I'm good at crafts. I'm decently good with my hands. I don't think that's too prideful to say. I do make comics after all and do a lot of crafty stuff. I can in fact sew if I have the right tools. So it was not too bad. It was not too bad. I pulled up pictures of it somewhere before, but I don't want to right now. It's going to take forever to find it. Is Narwhal rocking jean shorts? I don't know what those were. I think those are jean shorts. I think he wore shorts the whole weekend. That's just his look. In my headcanon is that he wears shorts even in the winter. That's just his look. Like he'll be wearing a full parka and like a winter hat, but he'll be wearing shorts. That's just what I think because I don't know. That's the impression that I get. I'm sure I'm wrong. They're cutoffs. Probably. But yeah, that was our little creative block get together. I think this was the second time because the first creative block in-person get together was in Tampa in 2023. My gosh, that was so long ago. It's been 3 years already. Holy shit. Time freaking flies. But yeah. Behold! Look at the team! We're all here! All here! And hopefully this year will be a repeat. Dun dun dun! Power pose! Yeah, this was fun. Yeah, there were a few, I really enjoyed the commissions that I got at Heroes last year as well. Everyone was asking for some sexy, dangerous women. And I was like, yes, this is right down my line. Thank you very much. I enjoy this. So if you would like to commission me at a convention, that's the vein of commissions that I would appreciate. I will take other types of commissions. I will take other types of commissions. I'm not being particular, but I'm just saying this was a lot of fun. And I am very proud of this Angel Woman, which I never drawn before, but she was a lot of fun to draw. Pretty proud of this. Pretty proud of this. And I usually don't have the time or sort of the tools and ability to get that into detail with a convention sketch, but with this one I took it back to the hotel. I was working on it like all night. I think I was up until 5 in the morning, and I had to be at the show at 10, which means I had to get up at like 8:30. I got no sleep, but I wanted to get this done and do a good job so bad, and I had to get it scanned because I want to put it in an art book. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Then there's this. I think that's Valkyrie. Here's the Angel Woman. But yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. Heroes is so much fun. And regardless of if I have a table, I plan on going this year. But hopefully I do actually have some table space, and I hope to see you guys there. Oh yeah, and I learned that it was Angel Woman, not Angel Woman. I tagged it wrong the whole time. She's a Digimon, right? I don't know Digimon. I don't know Pokemon or Digimon. Come on. I just know the character. I've seen it before, but I don't know what it's called. I'm ignorant. You have to do Lady Devimon. I've been told, is that the dark version? Yeah, that's what I've been told. I need to do a mirror version so it can be a set. And that sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. Yeah, I think I will do that as well. A Lady Devimon, and have it be a set. I have both of them colored and put in the art book. Yeah, good times, good times. Let's hide this. If not, you're gonna stop selling Fiendish out of a backpack. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. If they reject me, if I'm pushed out and they don't accept me anymore, then I'll just stomp around selling Fiendish out of one of those like old style suitcases hung around my neck, like a proper like a I'll hustle like one of those cigarette sellers from the 1920s. That's what I'll do. But hopefully it won't come to that. But yeah, Heroes is cool. It's such a good show. They wouldn't dare. Well, I am not famous enough or well known enough to just be accepted into every show. I mean, it would, man, I was just thinking that I have been doing conventions for so freaking long. Holy crap, it's been so freaking long. I've been doing cons since I was 17, believe it or not. And man, it took me until I think about 7 years ago to just start breaking even at conventions. 7 or 8 years ago, right around the time I started working for Marvel. But then of course, when I started only putting Fiendish and my own stuff on my table again and moved away from displaying my Marvel work, it was more difficult because I was just starting from scratch essentially. I wasn't and I don't really do fan art. I have some fan art in my sketchbooks, but I'm not one of the artists that have fan art keychains and fan art prints. So in Miami and at it's not so much at Heroes, but in Miami and in a lot of the other shows I've been to, I realized that most artists in Artist Alley at these shows and even just the vendor area, they make bank. But what they do is they do tons of fan art. It's all fan art prints and keychains and pins, and I mean, good for them, but that's not what I do, so it's just extra difficult. true to form, I choose the most difficult path for doing everything. Because if I was smart, you see, if I was smart, I would just do a bunch of fan art, and then I would be well known, and my art would sell, and I would just be famous, and I probably wouldn't be, not good enough, but at least I would make money at conventions. But no, it took me like 15 years of going to shows and selling art that was not based on any other franchise, and me going like, here's my little one-shot indie comics, which is what I was doing before Fiendish. It was just one-shot short comics. I still have some of them. You can see them on the website. There's this one called Beads, and then I have a bunch of older comics from college. I have a collection called Smoking Shorts. But that's what I was bringing to conventions, and people were like, unless they were taking pity on me, I think they were just like, we don't care about this. We're here for actually known characters. So I'm very grateful that now there's an actual readership for Fiendish. And because it's been so hard to actually find any sort of footing doing just completely indie stuff. But yeah, it took a long time. It took a long time. And I realized that, man, most artists are not stupid like me, and they actually do fan art and they make money that way. But oh well, to me, I think that's worth it. I think it's worth it. I say it's stupid. I'm just, self-deprecating humor, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run, because what I'm trying to build is my own series. I don't want to be known as somebody that only draws somebody else's characters. I love drawing covers. I like having that break and being able to not just work on my book all the time. As much as I love Fiendish, it helps actually to step away and then come back to my pages with fresh eyes. So I love doing covers. I love doing commissions once in a while, but I can't do that full time. I've never been able to do that full time. Even when I was learning to draw, I didn't draw a lot of fan art when everybody else did. And I've always wanted to do original stuff. So I'm kind of past the point of just doing things because that's what you're supposed to do and because that's what other artists do. I don't care anymore. I want to do what actually makes me happy and what I feel like I will feel like my time was well spent on it. Like, I don't want to waste my time on something I don't enjoy. A little too serious. No, not really. No, not really. Oh, Lord Raptor is here. Hello, Lord Raptor. Hey, we're doing a year retrospective. I'm just being self-indulgent and going over photos from the year. Went over some cover work, and I have a giant tankard of wine here. So cheers, everybody. Behold my big tankard of booze. Here you go. There's a little wine at the bottom. And we will raid into creative block in 30 or 40 minutes or whenever Pear decides to start the show. So it's almost, is it almost 10 now? My computer is behind. My computer is saying 8:59. But yes, should be in about an hour, right? Chat, you tell me. I'm confused. Cheers, everybody. TC says Rainy is forging her own path. Oh, just like she's forging Fiendish. Oh, well said, TC. Yes, forging Fiendish. The making of books for the Fiendish series available right now on the Fiendish 3 campaign for the first time. You can get caught up on all of the Forging Fiendish books from chapter 1 to 2.5 and chapter 3 all at once. Go back Fiendish 3 right now on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's 9:56 p.m. EST. Okay, so we have like 30 minutes, maybe more, because we always start late. Cool. It's cool. I know how this goes. Really name change this year for the creative block stream. Listen, it's not up to me. I have agreed to a name change, but I don't know what the current opinion is. We all have to agree before something like that happens, right? Something like a name change or any sort of group project with the creative block, there is no one person makes a decision. There's no leader in that kind of decision making. We all have to agree. So I'm not gonna say, yeah, it's gonna happen, but I hope so because I do like panel breakers. but we have a few other names that have been proposed, so who knows. But yeah, Panel Breakers is a good one. I do feel like we should maybe that sounds a little too video gamey, but it's a good proposal. Oh my, hello. Hello, Raptor. He says, oh my. Yeah, just because Creative Block is super taken. There's so many other shows called Creative Block, and there's a YouTube show that's also a couple of artists doing a podcast, and it's called Creative Block. I just think the show will never grow and will never it'll never be a thing beyond, like, you guys know about the Creative Block, but it would be hard to find a new audience if our name itself conflicts with an existing show that's already more established. But Cockblock, yes, we will have mentioned that. But yeah, let's see. Creative Unblock. Oh gosh, yeah, let's just go with that. Perfect. Let's just go with that. Okay, we have 30 minutes. Let's go through Japan photos. I don't think I ever showed my photos from Japan. Let's see. Is this okay? I feel like it's fine. I feel like it's okay. Let me go through my let's see, this gallery. I saved a bunch of photos. It's mostly food. It's a lot of food. But I took photos of bookstores and manga shops, and I'm trying to make sure there isn't any overexposed boobage, because Japan be Japanin, as you know. Japan be Japanin, and we want to make sure things don't get too crazy. Things don't get too crazy over here. But yeah, I think that's fine. Ooh, Nintendo Land. All right, you guys ready? See if I fuck up my channel? Let's go. Glorious Nippon photos. Nippon photo time. Very funny. Yeah, let's just go with that. Da, 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 da. Hit the deck! Yes. Yes, Raptor. It's not that bad. If you zoom in a lot, there is some significant cleavage, but this was just in like a 7-Eleven or Family Mart, which are everywhere in Japan. It's just like Taiwan, but I think in Japan there's an even higher density of convenience stores, but it's everywhere and it's great. It's just everywhere you go, there's a 7-Eleven or Family Mart or some kind of corner store, and there's not only just food, like fresh food, actual good food, not like the 7-Elevens in the States, but food and drink, and there's also manga, there's household items. They have manga and magazines. They have all their Shonen Jump, but also the most popular tankobon are sold there mostly. They have these copy machines. You can print photos, you can pay your bills, you can ship things, and you can receive packages. It's like the center of life is just at your local convenience store. It's so great. But yeah, this is a picture that I will not zoom into. That was the magazine rack at a 7-Eleven. TC says he has to go to Japanese 7-Eleven. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's an experience. Lawson's, yeah, that's the one. That's the one that they have that in Japan, but not Taiwan. So that's the one that I keep forgetting, because in yeah, that's all over Japan. It's quite a big chain, but for some reason we don't have that one in Taiwan. At least I've never seen one. You used to just buy meals from Family Mart, says Moromi. Yeah, listen, when I lived in Taiwan, I lived off of my local convenience store, and it was probably so unhealthy, but also not, because it's not bad food. It's relatively fresh. But yeah, I basically barely cooked, and I would just go to the when I lived in Taipei for a couple of years, there was a convenience store called High Life near me. It was like down the building right across the street, and I just go there like 3 times a day. It was horrible. It was like, okay, I need to actually cook, and it's like I'm forgetting how to actually cook real human meals at this point. Everything is just microwave stuff from High Life, but it was good. It was so freaking convenient. Meatballs with ketchup. Oh my gosh, I don't know about that. Right, but anyhow, okay, so we're in Japan. Da-da-da! Look! I went to Nintendo Land! This was amazing. It was amazing. It looked like you were actually in a Nintendo game. It's funny because I don't play video games, but this was really cool. Look, like, hold on. Look. It was so cool. It was so cool because the whole place was filled with these greeter types. I guess they're like park workers. It was Nintendo Land in Universal Osaka. This was in Osaka, and the as you can see, that guy that was just there, he was like, "Hello." They were so friendly. Like I've been to Universal Orlando before, and you don't have the same level of just customer service. Oh my god, Japanese customer service, amazing. Just everywhere you go is some cute park worker who's just like, hello, welcome, hello. It was so great. And the whole place looked like a Nintendo game. It was so adorable and fun. Oh my gosh. If you guys get to go, you have to. You have to if you're in Osaka. It's difficult to get in though. Basically, it's by lottery. So if you buy a ticket for Universal, the Nintendo Land section is a separate ticket. So either you enter the lottery or you just have to get there at like butt fuck o'clock. And I got there at like 7 in the morning. The park opens at like 9, but I got there super early, and there were already like 1,000 people. I am not joking. I have a picture somewhere. There were already like 1,000 people lined up ready to go. And the minute the park opened, they opened it a little bit before 9 because I think they were just like, there's so many damn people, let's just go ahead. It was like a flood. It was like the most polite flood. Like nobody was pushing. It was Japan. Everybody was very polite, but it was just like when everybody literally ran towards the Nintendo Land thing because it's like this is Universal and then Nintendo Land is on the side. Everybody's like, everybody was running that way. It was great. It was quite the experience. Oh, did Orlando just open their Nintendo World? Awesome. No, that's cool. Yay! Well, hopefully some of us Americans get to go as well. 7 a.m. is too late. Yeah, I'm pretty well. I set out at like 6 in the morning, which is, you know me, that's impressive because I do not generally get up in the morning. So being up at 6 a.m. was an entire feat. I was very determined to make it there and make this trip worth it because I paid for those fucking tickets and the whole point was to go to Nintendo Land. So I wanted to actually fucking get in. Orlando's building a Zelda area too. Cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that would be really cool. It's just gonna expand. It'll just take over Florida. Florida will just become a giant theme park of all the pop culture IPs in existence. It's just gonna become Fortnite, the state. It's not gonna be that. It'll be funny though. But yeah, so that was Japan. Da-da-da-da-da. And then this was the event that I was there for Osaka Comic Con. Behold, it was really cool. It was cool. I don't think I have pictures of my table. I don't know where they went, but it was a nice setup. It was kind of like Tokyo Comic Con but smaller. Definitely what was interesting about Osaka, I mentioned this before, but since we're going through the year, this would be an interesting thing, I think, to mention because I learned a lot at Osaka Comic Con, and it was because I had to overcome some market difficulties the first couple of days there. So Osaka Comic Con is like a 3-day show, kind of like mid-sized show, I'd say, a little bigger than Heroes. But I've done Tokyo Comic Con twice before, so I thought I knew what conventions in Japan were like. I did not, because it's not just conventions in Japan. Osaka is completely different than Tokyo. in Tokyo, you don't really have to talk to people. So me only knowing 3 words of Japanese was not a problem. But in Osaka, it was a problem because in Osaka, people expect you to talk about. And if you know anything about Japan, the Kansai region, which is where Osaka is they're culturally very different, especially Osaka. And they're basically like the most outgoing people in Japan. It's like the complete opposite of Tokyo. So it was like, oh, this is totally different than my last experience in Japan. And also, there was a huge language barrier, and there was also less people because it's a smaller city. So I just didn't know what to do. And I'll be honest, the first day I barely made any sales. I was like, this is going to be a freaking disaster. I mean, it's cool to be in Japan, but the whole point was I printed Japanese editions of Fiendish books to bring there. And Jake was also there, and he had Japanese editions of this Cardinal preview book, and we're both like, man, we're just not selling any books. Well, guess we're fucking now. And I mean, not that we didn't have help. James Jinja Ninja on Twitter, he's an artist down in Kyushu. He's American, but he lives in Kyushu now. I think he lives in Kyushu in Japan. And he was there at the con, and I had another local friend, and the translator who translated all the Fiendish books into Japanese, he's actually an Osaka native. So he visited us at the show, and that was really cool. But like, it's not like he could stick around and help us the whole time. So I was, it was up to me to actually make sales, and it was just freaking impossible. So then, halfway through the show, sitting there wallowing in misery, when this other artist, I don't know if he was American, he might have been South American, but he had a book that was originally in English, but it was manga style, and he had translated it into Japanese, and he was selling it. But he was also just on his own, and he didn't speak Japanese. But he came over, and he was super friendly, and we're just like, oh yeah. He was like, yeah, I'm doing great. I'm like, almost sold out of this edition. And we're like, how are you doing? I'm like, terribly. And then he's like, oh yeah, you should just print out these flyers. And he pulled out these Japanese language flyers with all his characters and a little story blurb. And he's like, yeah, I don't speak Japanese, but I just hand out these flyers. I have like 1,000 of them, and I just like constantly I just sit there and like talk to people, and just like, it doesn't matter if they understand or not. I know how to say, please take this in Japanese, and they just take it, and they can read the character bios. So you don't have to do the pitch. You let the flyer do the pitch for you, and if they're interested, they come back. And he said that's how he sold all his books. And I was like, oh, that's a really great idea. Oh my gosh. So like halfway through the show, like in sheer desperation, I had my tablet. I threw together. So what I had these like character bios in Fiendish 2, so I already had the graphics. I had it translated into Japanese. I just had to move things around a little bit, put the summary from the back of the book onto the flyer. I threw it together on my tablet, took it to the Lawsons outside of the convention center. Lawsons saving the day. Remember how I mentioned that Japan's Lawsons have like printing services and photo printing? I just stood there for like 40 minutes printing these tiny little flyers of Fiendish summary and character profiles in Japanese. And then I just brought this giant stack, ran back to the convention floor, and the rest of the show was great. It totally worked. It was freaking great. Yeah, it was really smart. Yes. Break it down into bite-sized chunks. So that's what I did at Heroes Con and at was it MegaCon? Was it no, not MegaCon. It was whatever the SuperCon or whatever it was. Was it SuperCon? Florida SuperCon in Miami. And I think I'm going to do that at every single show I do from now on, because even if it's an English language convention, obviously I can talk to people. Like at New York Comic Con last year, I did really well with just handing out the Fiendish books, being more forwarded. Like if I can actually speak to people, I have no problem turning on the marketing brain and being the salesperson. This is a trained skill. This doesn't come naturally. But I figured out how to just be, hello, do you like D&D? Do you want to take a look at my comic? This is like D&D, but it's in a comic, and it's like dark fantasy. Do you like Berserk? Do you know Berserk? This is really cool. It's just like that, but it's more Viking-y. Do you want to buy my comic? You're gonna love this. So I'm just sitting out there selling the book, and it does work really well in a setting like New York Comic Con, but I think having the flyer is just multiplying that. So anyways, It was fantastic. It was a really interesting learning experience, and I don't even mind that it was so difficult to actually sell books for like half the show, like, and with all the expenses of the trip. I don't even know if I made my money back, but it doesn't matter because I did end up on just the last half of the show selling so many books, and I learned so many valuable lessons, so that was really cool. And yeah, I do plan to do more conventions in Japan, especially now that I have a Japanese edition of the books. And I mean, I love going there and I plan on going back more. So hopefully, I mean, I would prefer Tokyo Comic Con. But we'll see. It's also expensive to just have a table. But we'll see. We'll see. I thought Fiendish was Pathfinder. It's I played a lot of Pathfinder and it's somewhat inspired in some ways by Pathfinder, but no. No, it's not actually a Pathfinder campaign. I think that is a misunderstanding that some people had. The trading cards have Pathfinder stats, but that's just something I do for fun because I want to have a tie-in of the comic, like a gaming tie-in at some point. So I'm starting out like statting out all the characters in the trading cards. But no, it's not. It's not like actually a Pathfinder comic or a Pathfinder story. We'll crowdfund your table. Ooh, I should try that. I have never done that. I've always just been like, here are my savings, and then hopefully I make my money back. I never crowdfunded a convention trip. It's never occurred to me. I don't know. I feel like crowdfunding books are enough, right? I feel like that's already asking for a lot. But if enough people think that's okay, maybe. Do the Japanese people feel slighted if you ask them if they know Berserk? Oh no. I didn't ask that in Japan. I wouldn't know how to ask. Well, yeah, I wasn't having such in-depth conversations with people on the show floor in Japan, though I think I would be able to ask them. No, that was more what I would bring up in New York. I guess Japanese manga fans would generally know Berserk, but I don't know if it's this huge thing. The series that everybody knows are like One Piece and Naruto. It's all the shonen stuff, right? But yeah, I think people at a comic show in Japan would probably know Berserk, so I wouldn't have to ask that question. Berserk sugoi desu ka? There you go. Thank you, Gikazu. Yeah, there we go. Those are just pictures. Look, I found an Alphonse! That was a picture from Osaka. It was cool to walk around. That was just like a cool little bar. Japan is awesome, man. If you guys get to go, you should. But be respectful. Don't be one of those. I don't feel like I need to tell everybody in chat. You guys know, but I've seen so many foreigners just be absolute shitheads right now. And I'm like, I don't want things to be ruined for visitors that are respectful. And I'm trying to learn Japanese and I want to go there more, so I don't want them to be like, okay, nobody can come in, let's go back to like the 1700s now, we're completely closed off, or whenever that was, whenever they had a period where they just closed off all foreign contact for a long time, like China had a period like that as well. I like to not go back to that. I would like to be able to visit. It's not going to. I think we're fine. But yeah, it's just be culturally aware and polite. But yeah, those are some gifts that my translator brought. It was so good. It's matcha. I love matcha. Those were that was a bag of matcha trees and this matcha latte mix. Whee! Yeah, it was a good time. I took a lot of pictures of food. I love Japanese food. That was in Tokyo. Oh my gosh, the manga shops. Anyhow, there was one in Mandarake. There you go. That one's Mandarake. Mandarake is this huge manga and figurine store, but it also has, well, there's tons of doujinshis, and it's a chain. There are like 5 different locations of it. If you do go to Tokyo, you have to find a Mandarake, plus a bunch of the other. There's several chains like that. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but yeah, this was super cool. I think this was the Mandarake in Shibuya, I believe, and it's just in was it Harajuku? No, Harajuku is like the fashion one. Yeah, this is in Shibuya. There's one in Akihabara, and then there's one in Shibuya. And this one is like, yeah, this is one in Shibuya, and it's like this underground thing. It's in the basement, and as you go down to it, and they did the staircase up like a cave, so you literally feel like you're going down into a nerd cave. It's so great. It's so great. If you go to Tokyo, find Amandarake, go to Shibuya and Akihabara. Those are the nerd spots. It was so fantastic. Oh, it was great. But yeah, I think those are our Japan photos. Mandarake notes. Yes, yes indeed. Also, this was years ago that I didn't go last year, but if you're looking for some really nice hot springs, Hakone is a really good one to go to. Hakone is like on the outskirts of Tokyo, kind of in the countryside, not like just outside. It's a bit of a train ride away, but you can see Mount Fuji from it. So that was a hot spring I went to the first time I was in Japan, like 12 years ago. Freaking amazing. You can sit in a hot spring, sipping a drink, gazing at Mount Fuji. It's fucking amazing. So go there. Hakone's Hakone. Yeah. Good times, good times. Did you get out of Osaka while you were there? Yeah, this is in Tokyo. This isn't in Osaka. So this time I went to Osaka and then up to Tokyo for a couple of days. And then I was in Taiwan for a while, staying with family, being a diligent daughter, and seeing everybody and visiting the fam, and baking in the heat and humidity because that's what Taiwan is. Kyoto is great in late summer. Yeah, the first time I was in Japan, I did Tokyo, Hakone, and then Kyoto. And in Kyoto, we did like a whole kimono rental thing, which is really cute. But oh, let me tell you, it is very difficult to wear a kimono properly. It's actually, they have these ladies that, I don't know about for men, they probably do have people helping you put it on as well if you're a foreigner, but for the women, they it's so complicated. It had these old ladies at the rental place help you put it on, and it's this whole thing where you don't just put on a robe and then a sash. The robe is actually really long, so you have to fold it in a certain way so it matches your height. And then there's like this hard board. It's like a corset, but it's not meant to make an hourglass. It's meant to make a cylinder because the point is to have a very sleek silhouette when you're wearing a kimono. It's like the opposite of European old fashioned. So you there's a board that goes like, it just smashes you down, which is really comfortable. It's great. And then the obi goes around it and everything. It looks really nice, but it's not super comfortable. But I mean, it's formal wear. I guess that's the whole point. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun. And then we got to walk around Kyoto in the snow, and then I was freezing, but it was beautiful. So I, I didn't really mind because it was nice and pretty. Kimonos are held to put on correctly. Yes, it's actually very difficult. It's very difficult. It's a fun experience, though. Fun experience. But yeah, warm even this time of the year? No, not in Taiwan. Well, I'm not in Taiwan right now. Taiwan does actually get cold. Not like snowing cold, but it does get cold. Believe it or not. Cheers! Cheers. The subversion says Japanese ladies are tiny too. Yeah, everyone's the average height is much shorter. I am a giant in both Taiwan and Japan. I'm huge. I'm huge. And I'm not, I mean, I'm not, I think I'm pretty average height in America, but in Taiwan I'm gigantic. Oh my gosh, and people are so blunt about your size too. They don't care if there's none of this, oh, we have to like protect a woman's feelings like in America. I had a hairdresser in Taiwan once tell me, she was like, you look like you're 40 kg on top and 60 kg on the bottom. This is a lady that I've known for 30 minutes. She was just cutting my hair, and then she was just like offhand remark like, yeah, you look weird. You look like you're 40 kg on top and 60 kg on the bottom. Like, thanks. Thanks. I mean, and that's bad in Taiwan, but apparently not in America. I've stopped giving a shit. I've stopped caring. It's one of the benefits of aging. I am comfortable in my own skin, but yes, I grew up definitely very aware of how much more of a giant I was in Taiwan. I'm like half a foot taller than all the women in my family in Taiwan. I'm taller than my uncles. I'm taller than the men in my family, except for my dad, because my dad's the tall one because he's American. But yeah, fun stuff. Multiculturalness is fun. Asians don't know how to listen. People are so in Japan, people are very polite, same as Taiwan, but they're honest. It's an interesting cultural phenomenon. We don't have much time. But let's see. What else can I go over? Maybe I'll just call it a day and go over to creative. Oh yeah, I was going to show off art. Art, and I have to set up the raid. Let me check if Pear has a stream set up yet. Bet he doesn't. Let's see. On standby. See, Pear has to put his face on. No, that's me all the time. I do not see a link. Oh, it does. Hold on. Let me find his channel. Oh my gosh. It's up. Yes, it is. Can someone send me the link? Because if I ask him in the creative block chat, he might not see it. What can you send YouTube link so I can raid? There you go. I will let me play the 1 second. I will play the Fiendish trailer while I get this set up so you guys have something to look at. Don't go anywhere. Don't leave. I'll be right back if I can find the fucking trailer. Holy shit. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. Wait, I don't have it set up yet. I'm gonna play another trailer. Okay. All right. I have it set up. I think I have it set up. We shall see if the redirect actually works, but I think I got it. How was that? You guys remember that? That was, I thought I was playing like the chapter 2 trailer, but no, that was a chapter 1 trailer. That was a proper throwback, wasn't it? Holy crap. Man, I spent like 2 years just playing that trailer, and that music is like in my brain because I listened to it so many times. Ah, the early days. The early days of Fiendish. Ah, my heart. Back in the day, back in the day. I don't think the stream has started yet, but once it does, I'll raid over, and I haven't had a start time, but oh my gosh, it's 10:30, so probably soon. Let me do a really quick round of promotions. Shall we? Shall we do that? And then we'll hop over to El Creative Bloco. Let me see. We were young and innocent. Romy says 2021. I know. Holy crap. Felt like so freaking long ago. 2021. Holy shit. It's like ages ago. It was just in the midst of COVID, right? It wasn't even then. It was 2020. I think I launched it in. Oh no. I was working on the book during 2020. Because I had a preview book. I was working on it while I was still in Taiwan in 2019. And then I was continuing to work on it in 2020. I moved back to Atlanta. I had an animation job. And then I launched it after COVID hit. So yeah, both Fiendish 1 and 2 were like COVID projects. It's just wild. Just wild. Just crazy. Promotions! Yes, just promotions time. Back when it went by his working title. The working title for Fiendish was actually not that. It was something else. It was a very cringe title. I've mentioned it before, but listen, working titles are supposed to be slightly cringe. That's just how things go. Let's see. The working title had a few. I had a few, but it was just like the first one was demoniac. How emo cringe is that? But it was basically not Fiendish at all. That was in like 2018, way in the early stages, when the story was, all I knew was I wanted to make a fantasy series, and I was like still playing around with the themes. I was playing around with the characters. Casimir did exist, but he had a different name. Easkell was this older character. It was like Casimir and Easkell were like the core duo, right? But Easkell was a different character. He was a little older. He had a different name. They both had different names, and the villains were these shapeshifters. I mean, that's kind of a cool story, I guess. But it didn't really pan out. It just didn't pan out. It didn't work. It didn't work with what I was trying to do. And I remember in 2019, early 2019, I completely revamped it. And then I started calling it Fiendish, and it worked out. It worked out. I managed to pick a non-cringe name. But yeah, early on, it was completely different. Yep. Fiendish Lord was the working Fiend Lord, yes. Holy crap. But yeah, it was very different times indeed. Friendship. Oh my god, I have misspelled it as friendish several times. Shame on me. But listen, sometimes when you're doing promotions and you're absolutely exhausted, it happens. Print the cringe. Listen, the preview books for Fiendish, fun fact, the 2019 preview books for Fiendish, they're kind of rare books, I would say, if I may say so myself, because I think I only printed 100, and it was only, I printed it for New York Comic Con to kind of like tease everybody that I have this fantasy series coming. And I actually showed it to a couple of small publishers at New York Comic Con, and they were like, this looks great, it's not really our thing. And that was like, all right, I'm not gonna try it with publishers anymore. I'm gonna crowdfund. That was the whole reason I ended up crowdfunding, because, well, first I did my research, and from the internet told me, but also from asking other comic artist friends, that I should pull up the actual Fiendish page, the website, while I'm running my mouth. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Let me do that. Let me actually do that. Behold! There we go. Ha! Yes. Here is the beautiful Fiendish comic website, fiendishcomic.com. You can find all the information pertaining to my wonderful fantasy series on here. You can buy the books. There's a merch store, and here are links to both the Indiegogo and Kickstarter for book 3 that are live right now, and you can go buy them right now. And here are the first 3 books that are available. Look, you can read the comic digitally, and you can even read it in Japanese, because I have the Japanese edition on Global Comics. So go check that out. But yes, fiendishcomic.com. Yeah, early on, I did look into getting Fiendish picked up by a publisher, because like that's the easiest path. Why wouldn't I do that? But I'm not going to mention who, because that's not the point. But I also understood why they would be hesitant to pick up this random fantasy story from an unknown creator who's only done fill-in work for Marvel. And what else has she done? She's an animation background artist and a fill-in artist. Like, who the fuck is she? She doesn't have a name. We don't know her. We don't know the story will be good. Also, she wants to do a long-form story. Publishers want short form stories. They want limited miniseries that are like 6 issues. They want you to have a short idea, a short form story idea that is proven, and they want you to prove yourself with that before they'll give you any amount of control over a longer series. And I was just like, I don't want to do that, because Fiendish is a long-ass story, and if I spend all my years drawing these short-form stories and mini-series and doing all that and doing it the proper way, man, I'm going to be freaking 60 years old before I get to draw my dream project. So, no, I was just like, no, I'm going to do it the hard way. I'm going to crowdfund, and I'm going to spend all my savings on doing this, and then crowdfund the comic, and then quit my day job and jump in all the way and risk everything and suffer. But that's why I'm so grateful to you guys. You have made it possible. So far, I have not ended up living under a bridge, so it's all thanks to you. But yeah, I did try pitching Fiendish to some publishers at first, and I had other creators in the industry that liked Fiendish, but the publishers weren't feeling it. But in a way, I understand. I do understand. It wasn't, if I was a publisher, I wouldn't take a risk on me either. But that's why crowdfunding is great. And that's why it is good to have a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit and set out on your own. And that's why it's awesome that we live in a time where this is possible. So ElfQuest did it. Yeah. Hey, Bancroft. What's up? Hello there. Hello, matey. Yeah, I spoke to Wendy at Heroes. They usually do Heroes Con as well, and she was very nice. She was super nice, and they both gave me some really good advice. The first piece of advice, which was, I asked them how much should I incorporate the feedback from, say, that I hear from the general public and from readers, and Wendy's immediate reaction was just none. just don't. And I was like, I do so you should consider the feedback from readers. I do think in general, like, for example, with Fiendish 1, I heard a lot of feedback, and this wasn't just like one person's opinion. It was over and over again. I heard many people say that the pacing, it felt like there wasn't enough in the story. Like, they wanted more. They were left with hanging. They wanted book 2 right away, but book 2 wasn't there yet. And I was like, oh, it's because my storytelling was too decompressed. So I adjusted that. I changed my storytelling style. So book 2 and book 2.5 and 3 are much more compressed, and I'm making more stuff happen in every book. So that was good. That was like a general feedback. But to change your story based on the whims of just like 1 or 2 people, that's a bad idea. So, but yeah, it was really funny that was like her first reaction. It was really nice to talk to her. But yeah, ElfQuest did it, and they did it back when it was, I think it must have been harder in some ways, but also it was a smaller industry. But think about, they didn't even have the internet. They had to go to conventions and hand out flyers in person. So it's really impressive. So every time I think about how difficult it is to do crowdfunding and do indie comics nowadays, I just think of that. They did it, so why can't I? And also, every manga series did it. Sure, they have a whole industry built around it, but they still did it, so why can't I? There's no excuse. There's no excuse for any of that. For any of that. Creative Block is live. Okay, all right. I will head over and join the guys. Join the guys shortly. Let's see. Speed round of promotion. Da da da. Z Comics. Da da da. And our fellow Creative Block member. This is the website for the Diaz brothers. The Man with No Strings. I don't know if you can still order it. I think you can. I think you can order some limited items from there. So head over there right now. And also, Carnal the Barbarian 1 raw entry over on Kickstarter. I think this is closed. This is closed. But you could follow Jake and follow him. This should be fulfilling soon. I know he's working on the merch, so this will be fulfilling shortly. And the book is already done. So it won't take long at all. And last but not least, the host of today's Creative Block, Hotel Story by Perberg. This was part 1 and 2. It's a full, complete story. Shenanigans happening in hotel, magic and human sacrifice and all kinds of stuff. Good stuff. So go check this out. And also, this is a bit of a retrospective, right? Here's a little flashback at all our projects that we worked on this year. Good times. But yeah, all right. I will head over to the Creative Block now, so I won't keep the guys waiting too much. Jake is ripping himself away from Fortnite for a couple hours. Yes, he is indeed. This was a shockingly short stream for me, but it is how it is. Happy 2026. Cheers, everybody. Hold on. Let me do a proper Oh, Happy New Year's. Thank you all for your support throughout 2025. And I am grateful for y'all being here right now. And I hope to continue giving everybody good comics and good entertainment for the next year and many years to come. I appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome. So cheers. All right, I'll end the stream and you guys will be rated to Creative Block and I'll see you right over there. I will be doing more solo streams. Yes, indeed, I will. All right. Where's my outro? Okay.